Hello, today I'm going to show you how you can use your estate planning asset distribution tool. This is primarily a financially driven tool which looks at how you might use your assets to fund your retirement and also how you might use them to distribute to your beneficiaries. It's used by lawyers, accountants and financial planners. And it's a very, very powerful tool to use to work with them to maximise your estate and look at all the possible scenarios of how best to fund your lifestyle. So it's contained within the overall financial budget calculators. So if we'll have a look at the Primetime tools and calculators here, it's one of the calculators within the integrated financial budget calculators. Now, it's more than likely you've already used this because you need to have done a number of things before you can do your asset distribution schedule. So what you'll do is most likely it'll be saved on your computer or might be saved in your filing cabinet already. So it might be saved within your finance areas. So it might be saved within your budget calculation, assets and debts. So I've already downloaded it, a worked example. So let's just go through it and get some idea of what it does. Now, whenever you do open one of our tools, there might be a security warning because of the macros. In able to move forward, you need to click on the enable content so that you can move forward. So what happens here is I've just got the integrated financial calculator opened. So here's the start page. Click on the start page, click on the terms and conditions, and the estate planning asset distribution is at the bottom. Before you do this, you do need to have completed the net asset calculator and you do need to complete the liability contingencies calculator, because those two calculators actually feed in the raw data into the estate planning asset distribution. So you've got to work out what your assets and liabilities are before you work out how you can distribute them. The other thing you need to do is you've got to make sure all your potential beneficiaries are contained within this list, because when you're looking to distribute assets, you need to click down on the beneficiary list, and this is where the beneficiary list is contained. So let's have a look. I've updated it with today's date and we're going to now go. So on the left is where your assets are. So all these assets have come from your net asset schedule, okay? And so have the values, okay? So depending on whether it's pre-tax or post-tax will depend on what the value is. So the net value is less the debt. So the debt, you can see the debt down here. Now the debt comes from the liability contingencies calculator. So all that debt that you've calculated there is there, and you need to allocate that debt. So you need to make sure that once you distribute your assets, or if you distribute or if you liquidate your assets, you're going to have to repay your debt. So before you can do anything with your assets, if there's debt attached to that asset, you need to repay it. Okay. So here's an example. You've got a investment property. You might want to sell that to fund your lifestyle. You've determined that's with your accountant or your financial planner, that's the best way. You need post-tax, after-tax value, because if you sell it for a pre-tax value, you're going to have to pay tax on it, so that's not worthwhile. So it's a post-tax value. We've got $190,000 in debt on that. So really we've got $210,000 which we can spend. Okay, we're not going to distribute that to any of our beneficiaries. We expect we'll spend that, and that's been allocated. So For each of these, you're going to have a net value. You need to allocate it and make sure that balance there is at 0. Okay, so if I over-allocate, okay, it's going to tell you that it's over-allocated. Or if you're under-allocate, it will tell you it's under-allocated. Okay, so at the end of going through all that, let's go through it step by step, and then you can see, okay, I think I'll be able to sell down and spend 632. That will fund my lifestyle, and I'll still have enough money to be able to distribute this to my beneficiaries. Now, when you have a look at this, you might want to have a look at your gifting schedule, because we do have a gifting schedule which shows you how much you have gifted to your beneficiaries over time. So you can see here, for example, that Christine hasn't been paid as much as the others. You go to the gifting schedule, you might find that you actually have already gifted Christine $40,000 through your lifetime so far, or you intend to gift her some money. So it's an overall tool to help you look at how you might distribute your assets. Some people might have a sentimental value attached to for example, the family home. Some people might want to keep the family home and distribute to one of the family members. So this allows you to do that by doing the planning in advance. So it looks a bit busy, but if you just do it line by line, and it becomes quite simple. The complexity really is when you're working it through with your estate planning lawyers and your accountants, the financial planners, etc., so that you can optimise your retired life, make sure there's plenty of money to do all the things you want to do, and also leave a financial legacy if there's any there. So that is the estate planning asset distribution tool. Thanks for watching.